What's up, YouTube? So I'm back here. Just got back from the range and was cleaning my. Sorry about the dogs, guys. My dogs are not used to me making any videos, but pardon me. Anyhow, guns are clear. Just so everybody knows. I just got back from the range. I was cleaning my carry gun. This is an update to my Ruger max-9. To my concealed carry gun here in California. I wanted to show you guys, I got my slide milled, then I picked up a optic, got an optic mounted on there. It all kind of happened on the sudden. It wasn't really planned out. I just found someone that milled slides and he milled mine overnight and picked up a hollow sun and got that installed on there. And like I said, this gun's been reliable, the Ruger max-9. Here's the MP shield that I have also. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about concealed carry firearms. Here in California, we don't have too many options. Unfortunately, we have, very small list of firearms that we can choose from, especially for carry, subcompact or compact, whatever you guys want to call it. We also have, on the roster, we just got the SIG p365, but my main purpose too of this video is to let you guys know, don't fall for the trap. That p365 it's a great firearm. It's a reliable firearm, but in reality, when you conceal carry, you are carrying for a defensive purpose, right? And this can hurt you or benefit you, but in my opinion, all the guns coming out in California have what you call a manual safety. And I go to the range quite often, and it's hard to train through a manual safety, thumb safety. If you have to, hey, stop. Sorry about that. If you buy a firearm that has a manual safety, sorry about that, guys. Let me calm this dog down. All right. If you buy a firearm and your firearm comes with a manual safety, you have to run that safety, especially if you're going to carry it. You cannot run this pistol, holster it up, go about your day with the safety off. This is very, very dangerous. If the pistol has a safety, it's made to be used, okay? So, this one also, this is a shield from Smith & Wesson here in California. It's also have a manual safety. So if your pistol has a safety, you have to use it. So in a way, I feel this kind of defeats the purpose of concealed carry for some people. If you're in a stressful situation, you're going to pull your pistol off. You have to train to drop that safety as you draw, And a lot of people, they buy a firearm. It's so easy here to get a concealed carry permit to carry a firearm. But so many people don't train, And those people that don't train, I really advise you to go to the range and train, You know how hard it is to be under a stressful situation when somebody's attacking you, your life is in danger. You have to draw your pistol and you have to drop that safety. Luckily, the reason why I chose this as a carry gun is because it's got a bigger safety. I am left-handed, so my safety rides on my left side. So I train to draw my pistol after I draw my pistol, drop my safety and get on target and shoot when I practice at the range. But a lot of people here in California, they buy this firearm. It's reliable, but I can only imagine trying to drop the safety. Look how small the safety is, guys. In reality, you're in a stressful situation. You have seconds to respond, close to half a second. how hard is it going to be to find that safety, drop it, and go into battery? I mean, you know, I just want to say, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't make it more complicated. That is the reason why Glock is one of the best carry pistols, no matter what people say. I don't have a Glock, but I do understand Glocks are one of the best for that one reason. It's got a trigger system where it doesn't have a manual safety, most Glocks. So you can draw your pistol and go straight to action, But when you have a manual safety on your firearm, you have to use it. You have to run that safety. It's not safe not to. Now, a lot of people contradict this and say, you could shoot yourself with a Glock, for example. You could, safety gives you that. Here's the thing. You guys need to understand, too, you need a good holster. This is hybrid holsters. And you got to make sure that that trigger is covered. If you have a Glock or a pistol with no safety, it's got a trigger safety, but it doesn't have a manual safety, that's a good pistol to carry, because if there's a threat, you just draw, you're good to go. But keep in mind, holster is number one. If your trigger is covered by your holster, you will not have any issues. The firearm will not discharge. A lot of accidents, negligence, discharge, they happen when people are cleaning their guns, when people are handling their firearms, or when they are reholstering. In my opinion, when you reholster your gun, you need to take your time. There is no race in reholstering your gun. If you have a deadly threat in front of you, there's a race for you to draw your gun, but never when you reholster. If you're reholstering your gun, that means the threat is neutralized, for example. So always take your time when reholstering, like I said. And if you have a manual safety, just train through it. This brings me back to the SIG P365. I haven't bought it. I thought about buying it, pre-ordering it. The hype is up there, about $700 here in California. Out of state, that's like a $500 gun. But the reason I haven't bought it is for the same reason. I mean, I have bought this gun, which shoots very well. I train a lot with it. There's no reason for me to put a SIG in my holster. There's no reason for me to pick up a SIG. It's got a manual safety, the SIG as well. And you have to run that manual safety, like I said. So the reason I making this video is because I wanted to let people know, training is number one. Same thing with this red dot. I got this red dot mounted on there. I hated it at first. After going to the range a few times a week, I got used to it, I do have cold witness. Some people say don't have cold witness. It affects you because of, if you're not going to... There's so many, people say online, but there's times I turn off my red dot. I shoot cold witness just with my sights, iron sights, and I shoot the same. Doesn't really bother me. This gun's very reliable. It's 10 rounds plus one. And if you're smart, I would carry an extra magazine, especially things going on right now, guys. Make sure you carry an extra magazine. Find a way to, strap it to your belt. You want an extra magazine. There's never been a self-defense situation where a person says, I wish I had less rounds. That's kind of, I don't know about these, if there's other magazines, but, this is only 8. And I think the other one is 7 or something. So make sure you get something where you can carry 10 rounds. You want to give yourself the best advantage you can, because, there's a deadly threat. It's serious. You don't want to take this as a game. You don't want to, the bad guys shooting at you. God forbid you're in a situation. I hope nobody's ever in this situation. You're getting shot at by a bad guy. You're not going to, pull your gun out and say, hold on, bad guy. Let me find my safety first, You want to practice. You want to train at home with your holster and no ammo. Train on drawing. I mean, I challenge people that have this pistol to train on drawing this pistol and dropping that safety, Another thing, too, is the one complaint I have about mounting an optic is that I had to find... Well, I ran into a guy that mills slides, and obviously, since it's a California pistol, it's got a loaded chamber indicator. As you can see, he removed that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. He removed it. So every time I shoot at the range, after like 20 rounds, my red dot, it gets very dirty from all the, obviously the smoke and all that black powder. You guys know what I mean. And after like 20 rounds, it looks so blurry that I have to pause. And obviously, after my magazine's done, the gun is cleared, I take a rag and clean it. So then every time I leave the range and I put my self-defense ammo on the gun, I make sure this is clean. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. It gets annoying. Well, it's not a big deal if you're a responsible person that once you're done at the range, before you put your self-defense ammo on your gun, make sure your optic is clean, working right, holster up, So you gotta be on top of that, Like I said, this firearm has been reliable. I think any firearm is reliable. Glock. The only thing that there is to it is to practice, that was just showing you guys this gun has got a manual safety too. And, that's a little unfortunate that a lot of the new carry guns coming to California, they all have manual safety. A lot of people have that thought of mind that it's an extra safety, And first of all, you're carrying a pistol for a safety. So now you're giving yourself another safety, which I understand. But when there's a deadly threat, you got to understand that we carry a pistol for defensive purpose only. If we're in a defensive situation, you got to train to drop that safety. It's a big... People don't realize, a lot of these things. They just think, they hand out CCW permits here like it's candy, and people don't realize a lot of things. Like, this firearm's 3-inch, it's comfortable to carry, but, you don't want to be in a scenario where there's an open shooter. They have all these things going on right now all over the United States, and you don't want to be in a situation where you're faced with a deadly threat and you forget to drop your safety. You pull your gun out. You have that perfect shot, and what's happening, So just train. Like, there's never enough training you can get on firearms. I'm gonna make another video right now on CCW, tips and advice. But like I said, don't fall for that SIG P365. It's a great pistol, guys, but you just have to train. This pistol is just as reliable as the SIG P365. I have a cousin. He just bought a SIG. He bought a crazy expensive SIG, almost $1,200 SIG, man, and beautiful SIG. And we went to a shooting range. He bought it like 2 months ago. He goes shooting maybe once every 2 months. And this little gun, I outshot him, I had way tighter groups than him at distance, at up close, it's a cheapy gun, The only difference is I shoot about 600 rounds a week with this gun. It's been about 6 weeks that I had it, maybe more, So I was able to outshoot him with this very expensive, nice looking gun, with this cheapy gun. And the main reason for that is because I train a lot, and he doesn't. So like I said, just, buy what you guys can afford. I do want to pick up a SIG P365, but it's not going to be my carry gun. It's not going to replace this. I'm already very, very comfortable with this, working this gun. I can't imagine under stress. I believe myself that if you're in a stressful situation, your ability to handle a firearm, your ability of accuracy is going to drop to 30%. So if you could shoot a group about this big, let's just say about this, sorry, do you guys see that? About this big, you could shoot a group of, I don't know, if you have a tight group in a stressful situation, if you guys have a tight group while you're training at the range, you're sitting there, you're standing at the, the indoor range, or you have, cut that in half in a stressful situation. It's not the same. You're going to be stressed out. You have somebody, a threat against you. Also, that people don't understand that targets at the shooting range are just hanging there and you're standing perfect. You take your time. Imagine, when you have a threat against you, that target is moving left or right and, firing at you. So just cut your skills by 40 to 50%. If you're really good at the range, cut that by 50%, because you can never assume that when you have to use a firearm, it's going to be like it is at the range. That'll never happen. You know, it's always going to be something deadly, nasty, uncomfortable. So the best advice I can give is you guys train. Make sure you choose a gun that you're comfortable with, but make sure you train with it. And then, you know, yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe, because I see a lot of people watching my videos, but nobody subscribes. That by you guys subscribing, that kind of shows me that, you know, there's actually people watching and want to see more, you know. And I'll keep making videos for you guys. I have a lot of firearms, shoot a lot, take a lot of classes, learn a lot about firearms, do a lot of reloads and all that. So I'm not a person that tries to hold secrets. I like to share the knowledge I have with other people, with you guys. And if someone could take something from this video and learn and become better, then so be it, you know. I hope this helps you guys, and hope I help a few people out there, you know. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll make another video for you guys on CCW tips.